T.I.'s son, King. King Harris has been arrested after not appearing in court and some other things connected to his.
Man, I see you how you blended your family together,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not easy. That's what I want to ask you about. It's not easy.
First off, the kid's a menace, right? He goes around. No, I'm serious. Yo, King, listen. King goes around terrorizing the community of Atlanta, bro. That's a fact, bro. I'm serious.
T-son King Harris has been arrested after not appearing in court and some other things connected to his action. A great family man. I see how you blended your family together, and it's not easy, and that's what I want to ask you about. It's not easy. The first images are seared in our minds. King Harris, face tight but unbroken, being led from his BMW in a swirl of red and blue. Handcuffs cold on his wrist. The police cruiser's lights cutting into the Atlanta night. He's just 20, still sporting the bravado of a young man with everything to prove and too much to lose. Weeks earlier, he'd been basking in the glow of new fatherhood, grinning in soft Instagram footage as he clutched his newborn son. That should have been the start of his turnaround, the family redemption arc, the one his father, T, had all but scripted for him in those stern, almost weary warnings that now play back like a curse. But instead, here we are. King Harris facing a potential 5 years locked away, and the ink on his own son's birth certificate isn't even dry. Our issue with King, first off, the kid's a menace, right? He goes around, no, I'm serious. Yo, King, listen. King goes around terrorizing the community of Atlanta, bro. That's a fact, bro. I'm serious, bro. We remember T.I.'s words from 2022. The kind that haunt a father's private fears. Time will be his teacher. It hits different now, echoing against the concrete floor of a holding cell instead of a plush family den. Even the old reality show footage feels loaded in hindsight, as if every disagreement, every argument over silver spoons and tough upbringings was leading right here. We've seen this before in other dynasties: talent, privilege, pressure, and a stubborn streak that turns advice into prophecy. In one surreal, painful twist, King's collision with the law comes just as his own son enters the world, turning the Harris family saga into a full-circle tragedy that's almost too on the nose to believe. And there's no shortage of spectacle. Reports of King nearly sideswiping a patrol car, the smell of a little recreational smoke wafting out the window, a weapon found casually on his hip. The arresting officer's words are oddly clinical. Mr. Harris was cooperative. In that instant, the rebellious Prince of Atlanta is suddenly just another number in a Georgia jail roster waiting for transfer while his family scrambles behind the scenes. We can't help but wonder, how many times did T rehearse this scenario in his head? How many times did he try to head it off with tough love or a lesson in humility, only to find the script flipping back on him? It's one thing for a rap icon to warn his son that life's lessons come hard. It's another to watch those lessons unfold in the harsh fluorescent glow of a booking room. So, the dynamics here are interesting. But I can't judge how the parenting has gone, because everything that we've seen has been stuff that many of us would have said or similar. We saw our children do this. But I will say this, a lot of what's happened is because it's in the public. Like most children don't have to do this in the public. Here's where things get even murkier. No sooner did the news of King's arrest hit the feeds than the whispers started. We've been hearing from old family hustle production assistants to long-retired Atlanta road managers that the Harris clan isn't above leveraging their hidden web of influence to smooth things over. Insiders claim that phone calls were made quiet, fast, and to the right people. It's not hard to imagine. After all, we've seen celebrity families lean on their networks before. Some say the bench warrant in Pickens County didn't stand a chance once the Harris name was dropped. Others insist there's a line, even in Atlanta, that you just can't cross, especially with the public itching to see whether T.I.'s legacy is power or just privilege. The internet loves a redemption story, sure, but it loves a comeuppance even more. If the family pulls off a Houdini act, and King walks with a slap on the wrist, will it trigger the kind of backlash that stains a whole dynasty? The stakes aren't just legal, they're reputational, and the Harris Empire's future could hang in the balance. We've all watched the tension boil over in public before. Most memorably that infamous suite at the Atlanta Falcons game. King live streaming defiant as T needles him about silver spoon comfort. Tiny rolling her eyes and dropping the bombshell about her son sucking a pacifier until he was 12. It spiraled fast, shouting, finger-pointing and a physical scuffle that ended with T putting King in a headlock while the camera swung wildly. "You are embarrassing yourself and your family," T growled. The sound oddly familiar to anyone who's had a parent hit their breaking point. King's response, "I stand on business." Every family has its breaking points, but most don't broadcast them to a million followers. We're not just watching the unraveling of a celebrity son. We're watching the generational handoff of pride, stubbornness, and unresolved pain. Trying to cuddle him far. Let the man walk off, have some time to himself, sit down, soak it up, and come up with what he need to do. But the saga doesn't stop at legal trouble or family squabbles. The Harris name has never been able to escape the gravity of rumor and scandal. And lately, it feels like the walls are closing in with new allegations against T and Tiny resurfacing yet again thanks to Sabrina Peterson's campaign on social media. The family is facing battles on every front. Peterson claims she's sitting on receipts, ready to torch the Harris brand with stories of forced behavior and old secrets. She's named King in her posts, too, dropping hints about a web of substances and recruitments that could drag the next generation into the same mud as the last. The feds, she claims, already have what they need. Now she's dangling the threat of a public reveal perfectly timed for maximum impact. "What we're not going to do is open up the door to my bedroom, as you shouldn't have to either. Open up the door to my bedroom for everybody to come in and chime in and make their opinions about what we do and don't do or shouldn't do. But I will say this, whatever we ever have done has been done with consensual adult." Let's be honest, most families would crumble under this level of public pressure. But the Harrises have made a career out of staring down adversity. Still, as the headlines swirl, we can't ignore the toll it's taking behind the scenes. King's reputation as the family wildcard is hardening into something more dangerous. His social media is a gallery of veiled threats, bruised faces, and high-speed late-night rides. We've seen his grandmother step in, pleading with him to change his ways. We've seen fans begging him to get it together now that he's a father. But the evidence, both online and off, suggests he's not slowing down. If anything, the chaos is feeding his image, turning him from reality TV problem child to real-world anti-hero. Same to me, I ain't really got too much to say on it. Just, getting my hustle on, stacking my bread. So, what that mean? Getting your hustle on. Stacking my bread. That's what that mean. And then just when it looks like things can't get messy, the rumor mill throws gasoline on the fire. A viral TikTok. Then a swarm of posts on X, all fixated on one question. Is King Harris actually the father of his newborn son? According to the gossip, a DNA test revealed that he's not. The story took off with a life of its own, fueled by influencer outrage and fans shot in Freud. Suddenly, the congratulatory mood around the family baby shower curdled into tabloid paranoia. Some even claimed T.I. was furious over wasted expenses, as if Atlanta's first family had never seen a little drama at a party before. Tiny and Zonique fired back, of course, calling the rumors clickbait and asking with that patented Harris bravado what street this word come off of, Chile. The official line is that there's no truth to the paternity whispers, but the silence from King himself only deepens the intrigue. As one veteran Atlanta promoter put it, in this family, the cover-up always looks worse than the crime. It's almost poetic. Just as King faces the possibility of losing 5 years of freedom, questions swirl about whether he ever had the most precious thing he thought he'd gained. For a young man already spiraling from public fights, legal threats, and his parents' baggage, the idea that his new bond might be built on shaky ground is a recipe for heartbreak. We've seen what that kind of pressure does. Does he double down, dig in his heels, and stand on business no matter the cost? Or does the reality finally crash in, forcing him to reckon with the kind of lessons his father couldn't teach? Been able to do that if it wasn't for family hustle. And it does come with it's some adversity. There's some adversity to come with that. People get in your bed. The family, for their part, continues to close ranks. T posts cryptic messages about loyalty, family, and riding to the depths of hell for his son, as if to remind everyone that behind the headlines, blood is still thicker than water, or at least thicker than an arrest record. But Atlanta isn't buying all of it. The internet still buzzes with theories. Maybe the arrest was a setup, a way to distract from the bigger Harris family controversies. Maybe the paternity drama is manufactured, a calculated play for sympathy. Or maybe, just maybe, this is what happens when a dynasty built on hustle, ego, and relentless publicity finally starts to crack. And with Peterson still promising her July reveal, there's a real sense that the most explosive secrets haven't even surfaced yet. Damn. Yeah, that's I ain't see that one coming.